Going on, folks? Will Turbot here, aka the reincarnation of L. Ron Hubbard and true heir to his mansions and cars, hot tubs and pools forever and ever. Fake Mike! Real news. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the stream. It's been a long time. Shouldn't have left you. But guess what, man? We got some stuff to talk about, yo. We got some stuff to talk about. Everyone settle in here. If you're just joining, make sure you share, like, and subscribe. Leave us a comment, please. Welcome, Benvenuto, Auditing America. Please smack the like, share this video. Twyla's in the house. Who do we got out here with us right now? Who do we got? We got some stuff to chat about here. All right. It's been a while, so I'm going to let you guys file in here, all right? We got some important stuff to talk about. We got Zach the Lego Maniac. We got Live and Direct. We got that thing I can't say. You got Dulce. Israel, long time. Tuttle, what up? Wayne, William. Oh yeah, all right. Let's hear the video, guys. What up, Deanna? Welcome to the Scream. We here. We live. Oh yeah. Shout out to Mr. Universo. Christopher, keep it in your pants. Mongolia in the house. All right. All right, so let's start talking about a few things, all right? Let's see. All right, how about now? How about now? Good, okay. Give me a 1 if it's all good now. It should be great now, right? All right. All right, we're good. All right, share the video. Sorry about this buffering. I don't know what's going on. All right, great. All right, so first thing I want to chat about, let's chat about what happened in Uvalde. Now, this is something that I've discussed on my channel before, and we went really in depth. So check out the last few videos I did. The last 2 or 3 videos I've done have been really, really in depth. That's Fake Mike Real News. So go check me out. I'm actually going to go live after this, and we're going to be interviewing a famous journalist. Hang tight with me, guys. Hang tight with me. We're going in the crib, guys. Hold on. All right, you guys are patient today, and I like it. I like it a lot. Much appreciated. All right, cool. All right, settling in. Growing pains, guys. It took a sec to get settled in. All right, we're here. We're here. We're live. All right, first and foremost, all right, let's talk about what happened in Uvalde. Very interesting. First of all, where did this guy get his finance? Where did he purchase these things from? Where did he purchase his weapons from, right? By the way, if you're just joining, smack the like, share the video, find Auditing America on Instagram, Fake Mike Real News on Instagram. Also, we have differing reports, which we've kind of went over. One of the things that was pretty fascinating to me was the fact that 19 cowards waited outside, and according to some reports, the guy just literally walked by an officer, and the officer let him in an unlocked door. So these officers, they sit there, right, for 40 minutes while one skinny 18-year-old kid's there. 19 police. And what were they doing instead? They were pepper spraying parents that wanted to go ahead. They literally detained and arrested a woman for trying to save her children while their coward asses were out there waiting on one 18-year-old kid. One 18-year-old kid. 19 cowards is right. 19 cowards. That should all be fired immediately. Why aren't these people fired, right? If I work at a taco shop and my job is to make tacos, right? And I sit outside the taco shop all day and don't make tacos and stop people from coming in to eat tacos, I'm fired. I'm fired, right? But on top of that, right? When me and Mr. America will go somewhere, we'll shoot some camera, right? Yo, we've been locked in a vault. We've had police chiefs come at us, threaten us with arrest. We've been arrested multiple times with multiple cops for guys with cameras. You got a little bit of weed on you, boy? Hey, son. Hey, mind if I look around your car? You don't have any weed on you. Mind if I no-knock raid your house with the red flag law? and steal your weed? Oh, but I can't be bothered. I'll stay outside. I'm just following orders. Just following orders. Yeah, right, the Matrix. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, they just stood outside, right? And then we have one article here from Fox News, which talks about how, oh, they refreshed the page, damn it. Let's see if it's still here. They took the headline down and they already changed it. Oh, no, it's still here. It's just further down. It's radical campaign. Mayoral candidate vows to eliminate major cities police department. And I probably wouldn't agree with her on a lot of other things. Welcome, Butch Brady. Please share the video. Please share the video. Share the video right now. I probably wouldn't agree with her on a lot of things. But yes, I think we should eliminate a city's entire police department. I'm actually one of those people that believe, yes, we should abolish the police. Well, you're saying, Will, that's crazy. Why would you? I mean, I know there was some mistakes made here. And that's one thing, Will. But to abolish the entire police, doesn't that seem a little maybe excessive? I don't know. Is that excessive? I'm not sure. I don't think it's excessive, actually. And here's why, right? So a couple things, right? I'm not going to go in super depth, right? But here's why we need to abolish all police. One, they're supposed to protect and serve with courtesy and professionalism. How's that working out? Meanwhile, it's not just these Uvalde cops that stood outside like cowards. Also, in Florida, with old Hogg, leave it at that, they stayed outside too. How many times? I mean, what about the UPS thing? Stayed outside too. They'll rush your ass for a dime bag. They'll SWAT team and kill your dog. But no, when kids are, it's not even just regular people too. These are kids. They're kids. And apparently someone gave them order to stay outside. And not one of those 19 cowards said, well, F that. There's kids inside. There's only one of him. There's 19 of us. I don't care if you other 18 stay outside. I'm going in. And if you're a real person, if you're a real officer, real man, real woman, whatever you identify as, you're going to follow my ass. But no, not one of them did. They all just followed orders. Excuse me, officer. Excuse me, officer. Hey, quick question. Yeah, can you please tell me why you stood outside for 40 minutes while there was an entire elementary school taken over by a crazed gunman who was only 18 years old, I mean, by himself, for that matter, and why some of you, instead of going in and attempting to save children, you actually arrested parents for trying to save their own children because you wouldn't do it. How are they not fired? How are they not on trial? I mean, oh, we're getting soft with our audit, are we? Are we, Poe? Yeah, I guess confronting the Clintons and the Bidens and having U.S. diplomats and John McAfee and the inventor of email and Dr. Alveda King, Dr. Martin Luther King's, and auditing the NSA, auditing the Pentagon, auditing the FBI, auditing George Bush's house. Oh yeah, I guess I've gotten soft. I've gotten so soft. I'm so soft. I have not gotten soft. I'll never get soft. I'm hardcore and I'll never sell out. Brother. So not only did they refuse to go in to save children, they arrested the parents. And here's why we should abolish them. Because not only that, thank you very much, John, for the super chat. Thank you for everyone sharing. Thank you for the super chats. And thank you for everyone that's been donating as well, too. And thank you for finding Auditing America and Fake Mike Real News on YouTube. Hit the bell. Make sure you hit the bell. And find us both on Instagram, Auditing America and Fake Mike Real News. Share the video. Now, why else would I want the police abolished, right? Well, as we showed you, not just one study, but 2 studies have shown that police are more likely to abuse their partners by 40%. They're 40% more likely to abuse their partners. Hey, honey, I've got supper prepared for you. Your favorite. Then even I don't know where you would gauge this, but then, according to a study, and I was quoting this for a long time, and I've gotten this wrong. I always tell you guys, what specifically did I say that was factually incorrect? And everyone shuts the hell up then. No, I have made mistakes, but you guys haven't been paying attention. I'm not talking to the supporters, I'm talking about the haters. One of the things, we just confront Secret Service. We're so soft. We're so soft. So yeah, but I was always saying, according to a study of over 50 years of police's own data, cops only solve 2% of major crimes. I was saying it was 4, but it's actually worse than 4%. It's only 2%. 2% of major crimes. So, then they don't even know the Constitution, as Mr. America and I have proven over and over and over again. They don't even know the thing that they're supposed to be doing. They don't even know. It's like, okay, I hired you to make tacos. Will, do you solemnly swear to make the best tacos, spicy and crispy, vegan, all natural, grass-fed, free range, and make the best quality ingredients, so help you God? I do. And there's this little pamphlet about how to make tacos. I didn't even read it. I just start throwing shit. I get fired. But they don't get fired. They don't even know their job. And it's worse too, because this is not just like some stupid regular job where it's like at Best Buy, like, I went to the store yesterday. I was like, hey, yo, what aisle are the tortillas in, man? I'm trying to get tacos. What aisle are the taco shells in? I asked 3 kids, like, I don't know. No, not one of them said, let's find out together. And then I found the damn taco shells, right? And that's inconsequential. It's inconvenient, right? I gotta walk a little further, do a little exploration on my own, right? But when cops mess things up, it's a lot worse. So when you're solving 2% of major crimes, and this is over 50 years of police's own statistics, that's bad. You don't even know what you're trying to uphold. You take an oath to uphold something you didn't even read. What kind of spineless coward says, yes, I swear to do this? Take an oath to something they didn't even read. What kind of moron doesn't even read something? And then it's messed up because it's not like, oh, I pledge to make tacos, like inconsequential. Like I always say, guys, men, women, and children, yes, children, right? You guys remember Andrew Jackson, who I'm not necessarily a fan of. I'm not a fan of, and some things he did good. Complex figure, right? That's a side story. I'm not a fan of him, but I'm not anyways. But when he was young, he got abused by the British, right? Remember that? He was no boot because he wouldn't lick the boot. He wouldn't lick the boot. But the redcoat said, you're going to lick that boot. But he didn't lick the boot. So, people, men, women, children have given their blood, sweat, tears, and lives for that Constitution that they take an oath to. They don't even know, right? And then, right? Then people are like, well, next time you get robbed by a crackhead, well, you call, who are you going to call? Who are you going to call? I'll tell you who I'm going to call. Your mom. And I'm going to take her out on a fancy date around. No, who I'm going to call is 2 of my best friends in the whole world. I don't know if you guys may have ever noticed these guys. Yeah, Smith, Wesson. Yeah, I'm going to call those guys, right? Because the alternative is saying, hey, police, yeah, do you think you can come over? I mean, you guys never bother solving any home invasions or carjackings or car thefts, right? I've never even going to call back. I've had my house broken into multiple times. I've had cars stolen. I never even get a call back. So you already know they're not going to solve those. You get it. Whatever. Fine. We couldn't be bothered. We got to pull somebody on the side of the road and get some more money for their taillight being out. Oh, you're going 75 and a 55. You trying to kill somebody? Meanwhile, that's everyone going now. So here's a problem. So instead of, and you call the police and they show up 15 minutes later and then they don't solve, or 20 minutes or 40 minutes later, maybe they're outside the house because they can't come in. They're too scared, right? Can't be bothered. That's what you have to do. If you're ever in an emergency, just say, hey, cops, I got too much weed in my house. And they'll come bust your doors down. I'm auditing right now. Boom, boom. That's how they'll come help you. Because the Second Amendment is the only thing that's going to help you.
Because what you call the cops, they're going to show up late and not solve the crime. 2%. They have a 98% chance of not solving that crime. So good luck. They're not even going to solve the crime. And we spend billions just in New York City alone annually. Sorry, not annually. Is that annually? I'm not sure. We'll have to. I'll have to. Let's see. Let's fact check that right now. NYPD annual budget. No way. I was right. I was like, no, that's too much. Total NYPD city-funded spending, including the agency operating budget and central costs for fringe benefits, pensions, and debt service, is budgeted at $9.9 billion in the fiscal year of 2021. In 1 year. But it gets worse. So we're spending God bless, God, evolution, Zoroaster, whoever. The leprechauns bless the citizens of New York City. They're taxed to the tune of not a billion, $10 billion a year. Cops don't solve 98% of major crimes. The average citizen of New York can't even have the Second Amendment, right? Shall not be infringed. How about that? Shall not be infringed. But no, you can't have a gun. And then the illegal drug war, right? We're paying $10 billion. That's just one city a year. So, do they protect and serve? No. Do they solve cases? No. Do they even bother reading the damn thing? The Constitution? No. But it's worse, they actively do the opposite. Actively do the opposite. Here's how. Well, we already saw before the cooties how there were First Amendment zones, protest zones. So it could be the World Economic Forum here, Davos over here, right? But the protest area would be a little barricaded, fenced-in thing like 1.5 miles that way. Thanks, right? And then the first, coming to religious stuff, we can get into specifics before that, but they proved it after the cooties, right? I'll never forget, unless I've been hypnotized or have amnesia or some medical mishap or some other theory which I can't currently ponder and or articulate right now. But I don't think I'll ever forget watching people in New York City, in Florida, being ripped apart from a casket because they wanted to have a funeral for somebody. And they can't be bothered to solve the cold cases. They can't be bothered about that. They can't even solve the regular cases. That's why 98% of the time they fail. Imagine you failed 98% of the time at your job. Good luck. But they're arresting people at funerals against the First Amendment. They're arrested people for going to church. Just following orders. Well, that's the Nuremberg defense. How did that work out for those Nazis? It didn't work. Spoiler alert. It didn't work. How'd that work out? See, it's just I got a great meme on Fake Mike Real News on Instagram. There's a whole bunch of lobster-back redcoats firing at Americans and the Americans are saying, don't fire back, they're just following orders. Don't do it. What up, Todd? Welcome to the stream. Please share this video if you guys are just joining. Yeah, they'll arrest somebody for that. Oh, then that's just the First Amendment. I could actually go on and on. I could do an entire 2 or 3 hour stream just on how they've destroyed the First Amendment. And it just goes to show that if we can have our rights taken away, then we never even had rights. They were privileges. But this country was founded, DK, on unalienable rights. Unalienable rights. It means they cannot be alienated from you. What does that mean? They cannot be taken away from you. But they have. I'm just following orders. So you never had any rights in the first place. You only have your rights if you start flexing them. You gotta start flexing them. Of course, we always gotta be nonviolent, right? That doesn't mean I don't believe in a healthy self-defense, but you always have to be preemptively nonviolent, right? And then speaking of self-defense in the Second Amendment, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. How's that working out, Chicago, New York City? How's that working out for you? Even better, they have red flag laws. Will, what's a red flag law? I'm not aware of a red flag law. I haven't heard about that, right? I've heard of red flags about people on dating and stuff like that when they make the post on social media, but I've never heard of a red flag law. What's a red flag law? Well, I'll tell you what a red flag law is. That's a very good question. I'm glad that you asked that question. Rhetorical, Will. Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's a law. And by the way, Trump was in charge of this. Remember, Trump famously said, and by the way, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican or a statist of any kind, just so you know. Trump says, take the guns first, then we worry about due process. And that's a great way to sum it up, you redcoat tyrant, wizard protector. It's a great way to sum it up. That's what red flag laws are. I could just randomly say that, hey, let's just say, Poland. Let's just say Poland said, hey, Poland's crazy. Cops say, okay, I'll take his guns. Someone makes an accusation, not proof. There's no proof of anything. Someone makes a random accusation not backed by any evidence or fact. No crime has been committed. And then they will take your Second Amendment away from you. I mean, lately I've been going on a tirade about the Third Amendment. Maybe I'll move it over to the Fourth Amendment. But I really thought that cops would have caught on by now, and they haven't. They haven't, unfortunately. They haven't really caught on. I thought that I would embarrass police officers into learning the Third Amendment, but they have not. Welcome, Cali Life. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, exactly. There's no such thing as scientific proof, but we do have scientific proof that they don't know the Third Amendment. People say, what do you mean there's no such thing as scientific proof? Well, science can never prove or disprove anything. It can just show correlations, right? That's neither here nor there. So then we go along to the Third Amendment. Let's go along to the Third Amendment. They don't even know it, right? So how could they possibly uphold it if they don't even know it? They don't even know it. Most of them don't even... Todd told me, Todd was like, oh, maybe you should just ask them about the First Amendment. I asked a few people the First Amendment, and they some of them got parts of it right. I remember asking one officer, hey, what's the Third Amendment in New Hampshire? And he's like, what did he say? He's just the right to quarter soldiers in your house. And I'm like, no, it's not the right. That's the literal opposite. That means you can't have that, right? So we've had some pretty disappointing answers in the Fourth Amendment, right? The Fourth Amendment, and as I always argue, I'll add this little point here too. As I always argue, you're not supposed to have any soldier in your crib. Third Amendment broken down to modern day parlance, right? But we have a digital soldier in that phone right there, in your phone right there, my laptop right there. We got a digital soldier right there, right? Not just the NSA, the CIA, the alphabet babies, right? The ABCs. Then the Fourth Amendment, right? You're supposed to be secure. Your property, your effects, your person, your crib. You're supposed to be secure. You're supposed to be good. Nobody's supposed to come asking you for papers, come and running your shit, running your pockets, saying what you got in there, checking through your shit. But yet, police, apparently they didn't read the Fourth Amendment. Because every time they see you, even if you're a victim or somebody calling, you got a little ID on you. You could be in the backseat of a car, pulled over for somebody speeding on a faulty radar gun. And radar guns are unscientific, and that's another thing. And then they're like, you got ID on you, boy? You guys got anything in this car you should know about? Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff. No, just stuff that you shouldn't know about, officer. And that's the thing is like I should know about you. Meaning, you don't have any drugs or weapons in here, do you? Do you? Well, the drug war is an absolute failure. It's unconstitutional. Introduced by the United Nations and Richard Nixon. And also, they had to get a constitutional amendment to outlaw that. Alcohol. But they didn't do that. They didn't bother to do that with the war on drugs. Totally failed, and it's a victimless crime. And then the Second Amendment, right? So on and on and on and on and on. There's a few other articles I wanted to go over. So that, yeah, New York, NYPD's budget. So yes, we should abolish the police. $10 billion for what? For what? I don't know. I'll get your questions and comments in a sec, but I did want to cover a few of these articles here. So I appreciate you staying alive here in the stream. If you're just joining, find us, Fake Mike Real News, Auditing America on Instagram. I want to say thank you to everybody that has joined. And so let's see what this says here. So you got Tom Hanks hanging out with the Queen and a Barack Obama. Interesting. Just a little side note. Somebody sent me that. Just checking into that. Oh, you guys hear what's going on with Kevin Spacey? Kevin Spacey said he's going to court. Got some more accusers there. It's funny because a few of Kevin Spacey's accusers there came to an untimely and unfortunate demise. So you can go ahead and look into that. Very, very sad, sad news I got coming up here too. I'm just looking through some of these images here. And guys, again, if you get a sec, open up another tab. Someone just sent a super chat. That's awesome. Thank you very much, HS. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you to everyone super chatting. Most importantly, thank you to everyone sharing the video. Thank you to the donations, $ Fake Mike Real News and $ Auditing America News on Cash App. Please find us on Instagram, Fake Mike Real News and Auditing America News. Another thing that they're talking about here is I'm just going to show it and not say it. But I'll just show you the headline here. All right. So I'll read the headline so you know what I'm talking about there. There's certain things I'm not going to say. If you know, you know. But that's the same thing they did after September in New York City. Let's leave it at that. After everything was there, they just hauled off all the evidence. Same thing in OKC, right? Same thing they did with that thing that happened in Connecticut. Same thing that they did with Jeffrey Egg Salad's crib down and thing. So it's just a common theme. Found that interesting. Here's what happened after other things that we should do, right? This is something that I thought was cool, and I want to get to this too. So I'll get to your questions. I want to go through a couple more arguments, and then articles. This I found interesting. We've been talking about stuff like I really don't want to say the word, but let's just put it this way. We've been talking about stuff like that. So if you haven't figured out what this is, I suggest you take a look into this because it's pretty interesting stuff, in my opinion. And then that's that. All right, so let's go to this. This is what I want to get to. This is the best presidents. This is according to CBS News, and I haven't even read this article yet. It's presidents rank worst to best. Right? And I'll get to your questions or comments as well, too. So stay tuned for that. So, all right. So James Buchanan is the worst. And I want to see in the comments what you guys think about these picks, too. And I'm going to add my commentary on a few of these here as well. Oh, so they only give a couple things. Andrew Johnson, he was pretty bad. He was terrible. Franklin Pierce, yeah, he's usually down the list. Donald Trump is above Franklin Pierce. Only one to have faced impeachment twice. I'm so curious. This is CBS to see who's going to be up on the top here. William Henry Harrison. I'm curious to see where they're going to put Grover Cleveland, too. John Tyler, Millard Fillmore, Warren G. Harding. Interesting. He's got the Shriner attire on here. Pretty interesting. Herbert Hoover. You know, Herbert Hoover, yeah, I'm no fan of any of these people here. Just to make it perfectly clear, I'm no fan of any of these people whatsoever. Although some are better than others. I'm no fan of Herbert Hoover whatsoever. However, Herbert Hoover gets a lot of the blame for the Great Depression, and in my estimation, in the estimation of some other historians and economics, he really doesn't deserve that connotation. It really has to do with his predecessors, what they were doing, but more importantly, by orders of magnitude, is what happened with the Federal Reserve banking system, which is to blame for that. As a matter of fact, Ben Bernanke, former head of the Federal Reserve, gave a speech at the University of Chicago, which is a Rockefeller University, where he basically admitted and apologized for causing the Great Depression, but yet people were heavily blaming Herbert Hoover. So he gets a lot of a bad rap for stuff that he really didn't do. But I mean, there's tons of other things that we could get him on there too. But that's just a little side note here. Martin Van Buren, Rutherford B. Hayes, Benjamin Harrison, you know. Nixon's he's big, he's better than a lot. He's on 31. I mean, that's interesting. You know, I mean, and it's interesting too about Nixon too, right? Because Nixon brought in, you know, Kissinger, he's chilling with Rockefeller, right? Now what we saw happen with Nixon is when Nixon resigned, Gerald Ford, 33-degree Freemason, took over. When he took over, he named Nelson Rockefeller as his vice president. Just 3 years earlier, the Trilateral Commission had been created by Brzezinski and Rockefeller. And then you have Brzezinski, and then the following election, you got Jimmy Carter. He's a member of the Trilateral Commission, right? He gets Brzezinski in, who's the co-founder of the Trilateral Commission. Fast forward to 1980, you've got Ronald Reagan going against George Bush and Jimmy Carter. He was the only one, and actually Ronald Reagan decried George Bush, later took him as a running mate, and then he was shot. And then after that, he had a luncheon for the Trilateral Commission. He sold crack to black people. He banned a bunch of guns, and was lying about his involvement with the CIA. Fast forward to 1988, you have George Bush, Trilateral Commission. Fast forward to 1992, Trilateral Commission versus Trilateral Commission, Bill Clinton versus George Bush. Fast forward to 2000, Al Gore, Trilateral Commission, George Bush not, but, you know, the people he's running with, needless to say, all those people are connected to the Bilderberg Group, the World Economic Forum, the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, so forth. Then fast forward to 2004, you have John Kerry, Bush versus Kerry, both members of Skull and Bones. Rest in peace to Tim Russert, the only mainstream or otherwise reporter to ask him about that. Then you had 2008, Obama had plenty of members of the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, so forth. Then you had Trump hiring all of Jeffrey Egg Salad's associates, Rothschild bankers, Trilateral Commission members, as well as Bilderbergers. And then you see the same thing pattern around Joe Biden. So I'm interested to see if Joe Biden will be even on this list. And thank you for that little mini rant. Wow, George Bush is 29th. Let's see what they say here. He would be much further down my list. Gerald Ford. Wow, he's only. I mean, oh my gosh. Yeah, James Garfield is better than. Well, that's Jimmy Carter. I have to say, Jimmy Carter, for whatever reason, seems like the most honest, nice person. Whether he was actively a part of this or duped as a member of this Trilateral Commission and the Rockefellers, you know, if you're the president, you should be a smarter man not to know. So Grover Cleveland is 25th. Now, he's one of my personal favorites, although I have no real favorites. He's just like, in a box full of turds, he's like the least bad, right? Okay, so yeah, they veto. He was a king of no. He vetoed a bill that would give government money to veterans, drought-stricken farmers, and people with disabilities. This is leftist writing this too, right? He would vote on things, and he had some problematic things too about him. He wasn't the worst, but he definitely wasn't the best. But at least as far as constitutional, when he would veto bills and vote against things, earlier in his career, he would explain why it was constitutional or not. And so Calvin Coolidge here, who is also partially responsible, not nearly as much as the Federal Reserve for the events that occurred, as you know, I just quoted Ben Bernanke saying there. What up, Justin G? Shout outs to Justin G. He gets so much credit, whereas Hoover, Howard Taft, Skull and Bones right there. Gotta say he's got a good mustache, but Skull and Bones. Andrew Jackson, right? He's up there because he took on the bank, right? That's what they're saying, the second bank of the United States, right? But obviously the big problem with Andrew Jackson was the Trail of Tears. And now he's a high one. Oh, you look at these 21 trilateral. Our goal will be to establish a new world order. I'm talking about a big idea, something bigger than any country. A world where the United Nations, read my lips, no new taxes. Ulysses S. Grant, also Freemason. His first name is Hiram. Bill Clinton, 22 times he ditched Secret Service to hang out. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I did not do anything wild when I went to Jeffrey Egg Salad Island and did Secret Service 22 times. Why you ditching Secret Service? Got James K. Polk. Interesting. Surprised he was ranked this high. John Quincy Adams. I'm sure you see a lot of the founding fathers. Yep. James Madison. We got to thank James Madison for giving us the Bill of Rights. That's pretty cool. John Adams. Not a fan of John Adams. I'm surprised he's up here. William McKinley. Shout outs to everybody out there up. We went out to Buffalo, and that's where we got. There's an obelisk where this guy did. I'm surprised. Woodrow Wilson. Look, he's 13th too. Number 13 is Woodrow Wilson. He's the guy. He's the racist. This is 13th. They call Trump a racist, right? And probably is, right? But they call all these other people racist. Meanwhile, he showed Birth of a Nation KKK film and actually is single-handedly responsible for a resurgence of the Ku Klux Klan. By the way, he gave you the Federal Reserve and income tax. By the way, he was manipulated and controlled by making the world safe for democracy. I wonder where he got that from. Oh, Edward Bernays. If you don't know who Edward Bernays is, you better. Guys, let me check in the chat. How's the quality of this video? Press 1 if it's rocking, 2 if it's not. We got James Monroe. Let's check it out in the chat. How's the video looking? Lyndon Johnson, racist. He famously said, or actually not so famously said, he said, I'm going to have those N-words voting Democrat for the rest of their lives. Lyndon Johnson was a racist and also just a terrible, nice human being. Now, Barack Obama, he's already 10th. Wow. The Tale of Sweeney Todd. The Tale of Sweeney Todd. I just watched that episode on The Office. Barack Obama, right? Yikes. I mean, what can we say? He said he was going to stop the NSA spying. He lied. He said he was going to stop the illegal wars. He lied. All right. Also, I mean, I could go on, but we've already covered that. Ronald Reagan, he's even above Obama. Ronald Reagan, the guy that sold crack to black people. What? He sold crack to black people, and the black people were getting arrested, but not the white people doing coke. That was weird. Yep, Iran-Contra, exactly. Yep. Also had a luncheon for the Trilateral Commission. I'm going to plug in my lappy right here. Also said, you know what, let's have a luncheon for the Trilateral Commission at the White House. Let's have David Rockefeller come hang out with us. That's what freedom needs, right? We're getting close to the end here, guys, and then we'll get to your comments. JFK, he was one of the better ones. Right? He still had quite a few problems, but he said, I will shatter the CIA into 1,000 pieces. Trump said, "I love the CIA. Nobody loves the CIA more than me." As Americans, we're inherently opposed to secret councils, secret oaths, secret societies. How's my JFK? That was my first time doing JFK impression, guys. 1 if you loved it. 1 to 10. 1 to 10, that JFK impression. What do you think? What do you think? Thomas Jefferson, deservingly so, probably up here. He had some problems too. Harry Truman, another racist Mason. And not all Masons are bad. I'm just pointing out like little random facts here. 2, that was awesome. How about this one? Oh, y'all, Maya Quimby. 3, oh my God. Okay, I'm working on it. Thank you, Mexican Righteous. Harry Truman, and there's many historians, a gaining number of historians now are saying we didn't need to use that A-bomb, but he said, hey, let's just do it. Dwight Eisenhower. Damn, I like that picture. I don't remember that picture, but yeah, he had some problems, right? He had more than some problems, right? He could have dealt with the segregation, the racism, the Jim Crow laws. He really didn't do much. He didn't do anything really like that, but he did on his upon his exit, on his farewell speech, he did warn of the military-industrial complex. So that was good. He got that right. Teddy Roosevelt, complex person, right? So Teddy Roosevelt, they're doing a new History Channel documentary about Teddy Roosevelt saying, oh, he was so good, he was busting up the trust and he was clearing out the town. Some of that may be true, right? But they literally, History Channel is like the king of doublespeak, right? Because they say, oh, he was going after J.P. Morgan and breaking up J.P. Morgan. Meanwhile, he was working with J.P. Morgan on the Panama Canal. Oh, he's going against the Rockefellers. He's going against the Rockefellers. Meanwhile, when they busted up this trust finally of Standard Oil, he ended up making more money. So he's a very complex, enigmatic figure, definitely a big game hunter. Also from that same Roosevelt family, interesting figure. He's a very fascinating person. Now, FDR, boy, is this guy a tyrant. Real tyrant, locking up Japanese in internment camps, having racism here, but then fighting racism abroad. He knew about the Pearl Harbor attack. He did nothing. He helped farmers burn their crops too. See how they're specific. Like, how is this guy number 3? I mean, what a tyrant. Abraham Lincoln 2 and George Washington 1. Is that what we got? George Washington's 2. I'll give George Washington credit for releasing his slaves after his lifetime. He should have freed them in his own lifetime. We do have a few abolitionists, founding fathers. Ben Franklin, who himself is problematic. We remember the Hellfire Club. But he was an abolitionist, and probably my personal favorite founding father, Thomas Paine, was also an abolitionist, amongst a few others. And Abraham Lincoln, who's a tyrant, a racist tyrant at that. So it's so funny how CBS now, they're ranking these people, and hey, guess who's at the top? A racist tyrant. Great. He actually had quite a few quotes. He said, if I could get your questions and comments in here for me, guys, please do that. And I'll respond to your questions and comments here. But young Abraham said, if I could keep the Union intact without freeing one slave, I would do that. He had a whole bunch of stuff. And it's interesting, too, because we covered yesterday on Fake Mike Real News, or was it the day before, how we were covering in David Rockefeller's autobiography in 2002 entitled Memoirs, where he recalls meeting William Paley. And at that time, we put this all on screen and everything, and at that time, William Paley was the head of Psychological Warfare Department. And then guess what he did after that? Anybody have any guesses? He would go on to fund CBS. So the head of the Psychological Warfare Department created CBS, the All-Seeing Eye Columbia Broadcasting System. And by the way, Miss Z, we also covered those patents too. So questions. Okay, so let's see. Let's get your comments. Okay, thoughts on prohibition. I don't believe in anything should be prohibited, except for things that would deviate from the non-aggression principle. Thank you very much. Edgardo, please find Auditing America on Instagram, Auditing America News on Cash App. I'm Fake Mike Real News on Instagram, Fake Mike Real News on Cash App. Also, check me out on Twitter. If you guys haven't subscribed to my channel yet, after we wrap this up, please go to Fake Mike Real News and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be live at 8 p.m. Eastern with journalist Mike Volpe, and it's going to be litty. So make sure you get into that. Let's get back to your comments here. Am I a flat earther? I am not a flat earther. I think regardless of whatever shape the earth is, we still have a bunch of wizards and war criminals, tyrants. So I think we should figure that out before we figure that out. Once we sorted this all out, I'll be the first person to send somebody else, because I'm not going up there, up in a craft to check. Right? I think that's kind of, even if it's true or real, I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into that. And honestly, it's not, like, it's diversionary to me. It's taken great minds and people debating off stuff like that when we have real problems here. Am I drunk? No, I am not. I have not had a drink today, unfortunately. I was trying to smoke a blunt. I'm about to smoke another blunt, though. But thank you. Thank you for that. Yes, Alphabet is programming. They're also Alphabet's also, down with the World Economic Forum, the Council on Foreign Relations. The Tale of Sweeney Todd. I'll give a wink and nod. Yes, you guys are asking the app. Well, let's see. Ace Trey, that's a great question. I'm a voluntarist. I do not identify with any political party. I transcend all isms. Yes, you can order some art from him. Let's see. Cristiano, you're just coming up with great questions here. Let's see. Come Audit, Tennessee. We want to go back. We're going back. What have I thought? Tell me when about catching wizards. Well, we've done it. Me and Mr. America have done it a number of times. The videos are on his channel here, and my channel. Just go scroll back. Well, and especially when the police aren't doing anything about it. So hey, as long as you're acting lawfully, I have no problem with that. Let's see. Thumbs up for the singing. Yes, that's my impression of Andy from The Office doing The Tale of Sweeney Todd. Interesting. I don't know what you're talking about there, but the Gardens of Eden. Do you agree that yes, the Federal Reserve is literally the people. That's their job, is to curb inflation, but yet they've inflated it more than anything. So yes, great point, Ace Trey. Should we raise the age limit to own guns? Well, let me ask you a question back. What do you think? Why? Why should we do that? Let me ask you the question back. Now, I would say no. The reason I would say no is because it doesn't really make a difference, right? Last I checked, murder was legal. Last I checked, illegal. You know what I'm saying? All these things, and people still do it. People still get these things. Now you can 3D print guns. No, if someone wants to kill somebody, they're going to do it. I decry all forms of violence, but that's unfortunately just the way it is. What's up, JT? Yes, exactly. Well, the number one cause of death is democides, murder by government. So if you really want to get cut down in killing, if your number one thing is you want to eliminate unnatural death and violence, then you would want to curb that from the government. John Felix is a great singer. I don't think, Patrick. I think your question. I don't know if it was just that family, but he was, in my opinion, although he's a flawed person, JFK was starting to expose some stuff, and he was going after multiple people. Let's not forget, they're going against the mafia, the state, communist. It's a lot of stuff going on right there. The CIA, as I mentioned earlier. Interesting. Send me some of that information on Fake Mike Real News. Defund it altogether. That's what we kind of talking about earlier. Tell me when we rewind and hear that. That's a great question. How come a private bank controls the United States money, right? That's a great question. Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution states that Congress has the right to print, value, regulate currency. And that was taken away, as I showed you, as I talked about earlier with Woodrow Wilson and the Federal Reserve Act, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, J.P. Morgan. So, no, I do not think Calvin Coolidge is a great president. I think there was my two favorite presidents, and like I said, the two best presidents I would say are Grover Cleveland and JFK. Now they have many flaws. I can criticize them on a number of things, right? But they stand out to me as better than the others. What do you guys think? Who's your favorite presidents? Let's get a few more questions and comments over here, guys. And thank you to everyone that's been super chatting. In about 45 minutes, I'm going to go live on Fake Mike Real News. Please subscribe to me. Yes, that's right. I have my own channel too. It's Fake Mike Real News. That's right. The Creature from Jekyll Island. We've interviewed G. Edward Griffin on my channel on Demand the Truth. So check that out. Amazing, amazing, amazing. But yeah, please join me at 8 p.m. Everyone, I need you guys to subscribe to Fake Mike Real News. And we're going to be interviewing journalist Michael Volpe. We've had him on before. Quite an interesting person. And he's able to get his work into the mainstream. So it's going to be really, and he's got some hard hitting stuff too. Again, too, there was a Charleston shooting too, so a lot of crazy, breaking, interesting stuff going on. All right, let's see if we got any questions or comments here. Do I think the gas oil companies, the rising prices due to greed or true reasons? The true reasons is the Federal Reserve inflation that we're talking about. Another point here is also, Biden, going against some of these pipelines, right? But the real thing here is we should be using Nikola Tesla free energy, and we shouldn't even have to be worrying about oil, right? So that's the true thing that no presidents are talking about, right? What do I think about Nancy Pelosi's husband getting a DUI? Well, I mean, it's tough to tell, and I'm not a doctor or an expert on anything. I'm just a dude. But she looked like a lush. She looked like a drunk lush. She just looked like a drunk. So it doesn't surprise me whatsoever. I have on my channel, I have audits, I have interviews, I have all sorts of stuff. I have wizard catching. All you guys go to check it out. Fake Mike Real News, really dope stuff. Honestly, it's like some great content. Some exclusive stuff with Auditing America over there too. Yeah, good point. Throwaway. Yeah. Well, you know what? We're gonna get to Minnesota. We're gonna get to all these places eventually, but it's gonna take us a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We're not like George Soros, right? Interesting point. WFOATT. All right, I'll take maybe a couple more questions or comments here. I'm going to wrap it up. I want to say thanks to everyone that shared the video. Also, thanks to the Super Chats. I love the Super Chats. They're awesome, much appreciated, but we love the sharing of the videos even more. That's much appreciated. And I really want to say thank you to you guys for commenting, liking the videos. That really helps us algorithmically. And also, I wanted to say September in NYC. Everyone go find me on Facebook. If one of the mods or people in the chat could put my name in the thing there, it's Will Turbitt, WILLTURBITT. 2 T's at the end and 2 L's. Will, WILLTURBITT. Find me on Facebook. There's a few posts down there. Scroll down there. I have an event coming up. We're going to a lot of people in the movement, the auditing and the truth community to come together for this event in September. You can find the details on my Facebook page. So I please ask that you do that, because it's going to be pretty dope. And as always, if you're like, oh, what's going on? Who's this guy? Someone just shared this video with me. We're nonviolent. We believe in the Socratic method. And my job is, we're no experts on anything. We're just showing you information, threads of information to give you a different story than you've been given on the TV news. And the TV news, whether you're watching Fox or MSNBC, it's owned by BlackRock, Vanguard. Members are from the Council on Foreign Relations. It's all Operation Mockingbird, Smith-Mundt Act type of chicanery that's occurring here. So that's what we've been dealing with. And me and Mr. America, we just say, hey, you know what? We're just going to do our own thing. We're not going to be selling out to these corporations. We're not going to lie and cover up for Jeffrey Egg Salad. No, that's not what we're going to do.
We're not going to lie about weapons of mass destruction. We're not going to take any money from Big Pharma. No, we're not going to take any money from the military industrial complex. We're just going to go out there and own these red coat, lobster back tyrants. We're going to interview the best people. And we're going to do it with a snapback and a fake mic. Called it real news. Find Auditing America on Instagram. $ Auditing America News on Cash App. Fake Mike Real News on Instagram. $ Fake Mike Real News on Cash App. And find me. Go to YouTube right now. Fake Mike Real News on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. Make sure you hit the bell for this channel. Share this Mother Hubbard video. Big video coming up 40 minutes from now, 8 p.m. Eastern, UST. That's EST, Eastern Standard Time. Join up. We're going to have a dope-ass interview with Michael Volpe. So check us out, guys. Find us on all platforms. And we'll see you soon. Peace out, folkies.